Hello. I'm in. Yes, it works. No. Wow, that's really annoying light. Yeah, hello everybody. My name is Bart from the Bart van der Akker, and I'm the founder of the Home Computer Museum. As you can see, that's literally what it says on the screen right now. I'm relatively lazy, so yeah, I'm standing all the way in the light, so that's great. So I'm a founder, computer historian, director, and head of cleaning toilets. That's my function inside the museum. Somebody has to do it. I also do other stuff inside the museum as well. And this is a picture of the museum as it is, well, a few days ago, but it's still the same. So let me first tell you a little bit about about myself. So this is me in, yeah, this is the boring part of the presentation, so yeah, feel free to chat along, I don't care. So here you have myself in about 6, 7 pictures. So that's me. I'm really, you can combine me into 7 pictures. So we have the drum kit over there, which is quite obvious. I also play guitar, or at least I try to. I'm a huge fan of Weird Al Yankovic. Maybe somebody knows Weird Al Yankovic over here. Yay, Weird Al Yankovic. I also like my Chevy van. For those who saw it on the back, that's mine. That's noisy. That's the Computer Museum over there, a picture of one of the rooms in the Computer Museum. And of course, my family, I'm most proud of, my wife and 2 lovely children. And I'm also a huge fan of Linux, open source. So I'm going to take you a little bit back to how the museum started. And there's also the question why the museum started. I'll just explain it. Because I started as a collector. Like, obviously, I collected computers. Who would have thought the computer museum owner would collect computers? Well, I did. And this is the current museum. At least this is, again, one of the rooms in the current museum. There's a slight difference between those. So, yeah, you can guess. What's in between? What do you think? 10 years, 15 years. No. This actually, this is 6 years in between. 7 years in between. But yeah, nobody can guess this. Nobody. Because it's karaoke. So, because of karaoke, I come from that to that. Obvious, right? Sure. Yeah, what's about the karaoke part? Well, it started off one of these pictures. That's the cause of the karaoke part. Actually, yeah, LibreOffice and animations. So it started because of this. This is a drum kit. That's an acoustic instrument. You hit it and it will make sound, usually. And I started as a band. Way back in the day, this is, well, 2003, 2008, so it's a long time ago. I was playing in a band. That's me in the back over there. I was playing a rock and roll band. And for those who know, playing rock and roll music, one of the things you have to do in rock and roll music, 50s, 60s rock and roll, is backing vocals. Well, there's a reason I became a drummer. Because I can't sing. However, because I'm in a rock and roll band, I do have to do backing vocals. So I started to do backing vocals. However, I soon figured out, the whole singing of me is not that good. I can play drums fine, that's fine. But singing, no, that's not an option. So I took singing lessons. And I went to a singing teacher and he taught me how to sing. At least he tried to. He ended up with me being able to sing. I knew all the theoretical ways how to sing, but I just couldn't handle it. I just didn't dare to sing in front of an audience, which was really limiting for me. But behind the drum kit, the backing vocals were kind of okay. However, like many bands, including ours, the band collapsed in 2008. We were really popular at the time, but I was married to the bass player, as he decided to have a relation with the singer, which didn't work if I'm married to her. So basically, the band collapsed. Yeah, I couldn't do that anymore. So I joined another band. A few years later, I moved in between, and no, great. I started a new. I joined a new band, which was called Pirates. It's also quite obvious. We were doing a lot of shows. The show on the left side, on the left side view, that's actually in front of 15,000 people, which was the Guinness World Record of the most people dressed as a pirate on one location. So yes, we were there standing in front of it, which was kind of nice. I was one of the one of the 15,000 people over there, and on front of the stage, which was really cool to do. And yeah, this is just a picture of the band we had at the time. But the whole pirate singing thing, when you talk about backing vocals, this is worse. This is much more singing, especially if you do sea shanties, singing a lot of sea shanties. So I had to do singing again. And I'm still the drummer, so yeah. So I took another singing lesson. I took another teacher. And actually, I only did 2 lessons at that teacher. And he said, no, that's not going to happen. You know perfectly fine how to sing, but daring to sing is your problem. And I was fine on stage. Behind my drum kit, perfectly fine, you know, surrounded by drums. I was sitting behind the drum kit, singing along, sort of. But I was singing, and people were enjoying it, apparently, which was fine. But as soon as I was standing outside the scope of my drum kit, I completely blocked out. And the biggest one started with karaoke. I was at karaoke in, I think it was in Morocco or something. I was on a holiday. There was this evening singing karaoke. So sure, I'll go sing karaoke. I chose a perfectly fine song for me to sing, which I can always sing. I don't recall it exactly. I think it was an old song. Anyway, a song from the 90s. I was singing there, and everybody was singing way off key. So I was confident, you know, I can do at least singing on key. So I went on stage, and I started to sing. And the first verse went perfectly fine. But then I heard myself singing a false note. I could hear myself singing off key. And I completely blocked out. I couldn't sing anymore. There was no sound coming from me anymore. I barely pushed on to finish the song. And I felt ashamed. I was like, how can I can stand in front of 15,000 people singing with the band, which is fine. Behind the drum kit, fine. But I cannot sing in the front of a lot of drunken Moroccan people who I don't know, I will never see again, and I'm the only one caring that I'm singing off key. I didn't understand why. And also, I noticed the band. The Pirates was really a big band. We did 75 shows. In 2014, I did 75 performances internationally. And, but I was noticing that my singing capabilities were holding back the band. I decided, you know, singing lessons, I tried already to, didn't work. So I'm going to do it one more time. I'm going to try to do it one more time. The singing, let's see if the next slide, yeah, the next slide's right. I'm doing it one more time. And this time I'm doing it completely the other way. I'm going online. Yes. I looked up a course on the internet, and I found a course which was around $100. And for a course, it was no live feed or anything. It was just movies from a guy explaining stuff, and you have to copy it. It was about 10 minutes, 15 minutes a day. And I was perfectly fine doing that. Every day I was doing 15 minutes, 20 minutes sometimes. But I was doing all the assignments that they were giving me. I was trying all the things he was saying. And there was no feedback from him anyway. I didn't record myself, nothing. Just listening to him, you know, stating, okay, I can do this. And I noticed a small change. While I was singing in a band, I felt more confident singing. And I didn't understand why. I mean, I was only watching a movie. I was only watching small movies. Didn't understand why. Obviously, you know, IT guy, I will look him up on the internet. So the guy who wrote, who did that course, I looked him up on. Okay. Mikey. Yeah, still good. Yeah, I'm talking too much, I know. You're asking a museum director to talk, wow. Yeah, I looked him up on the internet. And I found him on all the social media channels. And I found out this guy was also writing a book, which was called The Voice of Your Dreams. This is the book. So I ordered the book. When it came out, I ordered the book, thinking, you know, this is about singing. I can improve my singing even more. So I read the book. And I was kind of disappointed that it's not about singing. This book is not about singing. This book is about reaching goals. And how to reach that goals. Everybody has this voice inside their head that's always negative, that always says, why are you doing this? Nobody's going to watch you. Nobody's listening to you. Nobody cares what you do. The negative voice. And you stop doing a lot of things because of this negative voice. You're not actually following your dreams. That's what this book is about. He gives you handles to get things done, to actually go to the end of your goal. So I was reading this book while I was touring in the UK with the band Pirates. And there were things going in Pirates as well. Somebody left the band and somebody was getting into the band, which we didn't like. Well, actually, the bass player and me didn't like her. The singer did like her a lot. So eventually I ended up quitting the band because it didn't feel like I should be in that band anymore. So I quit the band. Around the same time, I did another karaoke. I really did. And this time it was a karaoke at a festival where I actually knew people, which was a TweakersNet. They existed for so many years, so I was there on a TweakersNet event, singing karaoke. You know, joking along first with people, you know, they sing off-key. And then this guy suddenly said, yeah, we should go on stage. Like, you're sure? Yeah, we should go on stage. Okay, we'll go on stage, I said. So we went on stage, and they were having this program called PlayStation SingStar or something like that. I don't know. This was what they had. And I said, okay, I want to sing, but only a song I know. So I chose a song. Eventually it was Lady in Red by Chris de Burgh. That's the song we chose. So we started singing. And at some reason, I don't know when or how, but suddenly this other guy who was also singing along with me was disappeared. He wasn't on the stage anymore. He literally was away. He was singing off-key all the time. And I was standing there alone, doing the SingStar, doing a whole show of me singing and performing. And I did hear myself singing off-key, but I kept on going. And by the end of the song, I was looking at the score. It was over 8,000 points. It was the highest score that day. I got a big applause. I was like, dude, I'm just, you know, doing karaoke. But everybody was loving it. So something happened in me. So fast forward to the band. The band collapsed. I quit the band and I came home. What's the next slide? I have to check. All right. So I came home and yeah, let's touch it. I came home and instead of being on the road every weekend, performing on the road every weekend, I was suddenly at home. And my wife was like, what are you doing at home? She was like, why? And she also said, listen, you have this garage, which I completely rebuilt to become a studio. But my drum kit didn't fit in there anymore because of all the old computers. I was attending all these meetings, gatherings about old computers. And my wife said, you have this big collection. You're home every weekend. You have stocked computers in my walk-in closet even. Yes, my wife allowed me to put computers in her walk-in closet. Yeah, it was a tendy over there. A lot of tendies over there. So she was like, yeah, it's getting out of hand. Maybe you should do something with it. That's what she literally said. She said, maybe you should do something with it. I was like, all right, maybe I should. And then I remembered this book. you know, having a dream, having what do you want to have in your life? What do you want to reach? And I was not happy being a system administrator either. That I've been since, at that point, I was like 25 years or so system administrator, and I was bored with that. So I decided, you know, I'll do something. What do I want? What's my goal to reach? So I wrote down, I want to open a computer museum. And the reason why I opened a computer museum, why I wanted that, is because I've been in Cambridge. And in Cambridge, I saw the computer museum over there, the Computer Science Museum. Yeah, this is going to sing. So the Computer Science Museum, and I walked there in 2014 while we're doing a big tour in the UK. And one thing which really amazed me was, you come in that museum, it's really hard to find the museum, somewhere outside an industrial area, ugly building outside. You enter the museum, lovely people, no problems with them, and you end up in this big hall with computers all waiting for user input. And it's all really English, which is fine. But then I was looking at some of the signs they had. And there was a Tandy TRS-80, and it says was made in 1979, which is 2 years incorrect, because it's made in 1977. And then I saw, and that's the worst part, I saw an Amiga 500, and there was a sign saying it was an Amiga 1200. That's a whole different system. And so I said, this is wrong, that's wrong. It's like, I know these things, but if you come here as a visitor without knowing anything about computers, you assume this is right. And therefore, this is really bad that they have wrong information over there. And also the whole atmosphere. I was really missing the stories of the computers itself. I saw the stories of the manufacturer, they were there, but who were the people using this computer? What are we used for? What happened with these people? So I wanted that. I wanted to have a museum that was dedicated to have interaction. So computers should be on and should be doing something. Not waiting for user input, but allow them to have user input. So you can just use them if you want to, but there is a game on there, or a demo or something like that. Something is running on the system. And the only reason I wanted to do that is I wanted to collect the stories of the people. Because having this whole this computer, seeing a computer on the internet gives you some recollection, gives you nostalgic feelings. But actually touching a computer will give you even more nostalgic feelings. And actually, if you use them in a surrounding which is compatible with the year that the computer was made into, then the whole full nostalgic experience will be there. And then you get the stories. So that's what I wrote down. I wrote down a business plan for a museum. Museum as a business. Because we can come clear to everything, but a museum is a terrible business plan. That is just a fact. A museum is a terrible business plan, right? You are dependent on external money. And I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to be dependable on external influences, money or anything else. So I needed to make money. So I built up this, we call it the 4 pillars. These are actually pillars, obviously. And the reason I'm calling them pillars is because you can turn down, you can completely get rid of one of the pillars, but we'll still keep on standing up. Even 2 pillars and we'll still be standing. If you put out 3, then it's a problem. But how big are chances of that? So the museum is the important part. Yeah. The museum is the important part. I'll go a little bit back. So the museum is the important part. And that's something we always should do. We have an interactive museum. And here comes an interesting thing, and that's a lot of people come to me and say, I'm opening a museum as well. And some of them have the good idea. But there is a definition what a museum should do. It's not just push out a whole lot of computers or just put out some objects and that's it, people will come. It's much more than that. And there is a definition of a museum. It's called the ICOM, International Council of Museums. they put down a definition of a museum. This is the definition. It's a whole lot of text. You can find it on the internet. It's way more easy. But basically, you have to have a building and you have to share all the information you have. That's what it says, in short. But I'll skip it because a lot of text is not good. So by this definition, if you just have this definition, a virtual museum, which exists a lot on the internet, for computers especially, but also for a lot of other things. But no, a virtual museum doesn't exist, cannot exist. It's not open. It's not a permanent institution. It's not open for public. So a virtual museum is something that doesn't exist. Your garage. It's also, no, it's not a permanent institution. It's not open for public. You can open it for public, of course, but you can't. It's not an open building. It's not a shop. It's not some library or something like that. It's your house, and you cannot open that for public. A collector. Can a collector be a museum? No. A collector cannot be a museum. Collectors are collecting for their own. And it's slightly more than that. Yeah. A collector is collecting objects. A collector is only limited by money and space. So you can have, if somebody offers a collector 200 Commodore 64s, he or she will buy them or get them and will keep them, or will make sure, you know, I have this different SID chip in there, or this different revision of the mainboard, which is fine. I'm not saying that it's wrong, but it's a collector. That's completely fine. A museum doesn't collect objects. A museum collects stories and uses objects to tell these stories. And that's the difference between a collector and a museum. So a collector can become a museum, but is not a collector anymore. I used to be a collector, but I'm not a collector anymore. Well, at least not of computers. I cannot be a collector of computers anymore. I collect other things like guitars and drum kits, but that's a different story. What do you have? So I asked around on Facebook about the amount of power we use. I got a question about how much power we use. Oh wait, I'll do that later. Wait, I'll just see. A museum is collecting, sharing stories about the objects, research and verify these stories and maintain the objects and stories in a sustainable way. That's what a museum does. We have a mission as the Home Computer Museum. Preserve and share the history of the home computer for and with current and future generations. That's the official mission of the Home Computer Museum. That's what we do as the Home Computer Museum. Do we have? Yeah. So, as a museum, we currently have a little over 2,000 computers in the museum. If we calculate all the objects we have, including documentation, software, monitors, printers, disk drives, if we have everything and collect everything of that and number that everything, then we have over 23,000 objects registered in the museum at this moment. We have 1,090 square meters, and this presentation is in the US, so does it say? Doesn't say so. All right, never mind. It's a lot of square feet, so for those who, you have to calculate yourself. And the question about how many power we use on an average day, I just looked it up. If we only have the computers on, only the computers, the museum objects we have, they use 10 kilowatts of power at any given moment. Just, that's the current amount of power we use. If we also include air conditioning, if we include the other lights and everything, then we are between 30 and 40 kilowatts on an average day that we are open. So that's the answer of that question, how much power do you use? That's €1,500 a month, by the way, just so you know. So museum as a business, going back to that. We have a museum. We have 4 pillars. The most important pillar is the museum. We ask for entrance. We ask for €10.24 entrance fee. And for those who know, they should absolutely come. So €10.24 as an entrance fee. So we do collect a lot of computers, but we also collect the stories. We have 3 computers of each. We don't have more than 3 of each. We have 1 in the museum that's active, 1 in the warehouse that should be active, but if the one in the museum breaks, we can swap it out. And we have 1 in the original box. And the 4th one we get donated, we will sell. And the profit of that selling will go straight into this museum. And that's how we make money. That's one of the reasons we make money. But as a museum, we do a lot of research, and we always share the research. We do editing of Wikipedia. Yes, that's us. We don't use ChatGPT. We want ChatGPT to use us as a source of information. That's a whole different approach. So we have to verify every single detail on Wikipedia that's already there. We are the ones verifying that. We are the ones calling to people and actually mailing them and contacting them. Is this true? Can you tell or elaborate on that particular thing you said? So we have then we have the social part. Yeah, I'm annoying for the sound guy. We have the social part, and that's also a large thing. Because one of the things a museum cannot do is run by itself. And it's not only one person that can run it. We currently have 50 volunteers in the museum. And every week there's usually 1 coming extra. And most of these volunteers we have a distance to the labor market. And most of the people with a distance to the labor market have autism. And the Home Computer Museum actually helps them to learn how to cope with the normal world in order to get them back to a normal paid job. And we're really effective in that. Since 2022, we have 14 people who started out as a volunteer at the Home Computer Museum and now have a full-time job. And a lot of those people are still a volunteer at the Home Computer Museum. So the volunteers is one of the things. And in the Netherlands, there's a system that we actually get money for that. So suddenly we have this museum part, which has the entrance fee we have, the tours we do for schools and businesses, and the mobile museum we do. That's an income. But then the social part is also an income source for us. Plus, we have people actually working for us, volunteering, and we have really good people inside. We are able to repair anything. Any computer we can repair. It doesn't matter. We can repair CRT screens. We can even repair my van, because I ask my volunteers to repair my van. And it's an American car, so it breaks down a lot. So the social part is really important for the museum. You also see the commercial part over there. And maybe that's also something that's really odd for most museums, and especially for the city. They always ask, so you're a commercial museum? I said, no, I'm not. I'm non-profit. I have everything that I'm non-profit. But I'm a business. And a business has to have revenue in order to pay for whatever they have. And we have a big building in the middle of the city. It's expensive, I can tell you that. I have a lot of electricity I need, so that's expensive. I need to pay for that. How? It's not that they give it for free. I wish. Hi. See? Open. There you go. So we have a commercial part. And one of the things we do is we are an interactive computer museum, which means all computers are on, which means all computers should work. But why use this knowledge only in the museum? So what we offer is a repair service. It's that simple. You can just bring in your computer, and it doesn't matter if it's a brand new one, or if it's a Commodore 64, or an Atari. I don't care. You bring it in, you ask us to repair it, we will repair it. And we don't have a shop, so we don't have stock or anything. We just repair it, and we ask money for that. And people pay us. So we also give warranty for that. If we repair the Commodore 64, we give warranty on that. Only a few months, but sure. The other thing is, I already explained, about selling overstock, what we do. We get a lot of donations in. On an average week, we get 6 to 10 computers donated to the Home Computer Museum. And a lot of them we already have. And we're really thankful for them, because we will use them either to make ours better, or we just sell them. And we sell them always for lower prices than we can find on the internet, because it's not our business to make a higher price. So if you want to have a cheap computer, you can buy it with us, or with Retro 8-bit Shop. He's also very cheap. Yeah, we sell overstock, that's what we do. And we also do, because we have knowledge of computers, and we have a lot of IT guys working for us, we can also do refurbishing of modern computers. And that's what we also do. We just get old laptops from businesses. Businesses usually, after 3 or 4 years, they drop out their old computers because they are too old. But they're still very good laptops and very good computers. So we try to get them. We do data destruction, reinstall them, make them fresh, and we resell them. And we resell them to, which is called a foundation. It's called Stichting Leergeld. That's a foundation in the Netherlands that for children that come from poor families, they need laptops, for example, and this foundation will pay for this laptop and give that to these poor people, to this poor child to use in schools. And that's what we do, because this foundation doesn't have any knowledge of computers. They only know about, you know, this is a poor family, and they match all the criteria for that. And then they pay us to give them a laptop. So basically, that's the biggest one we sell to. And the second one is people who are unemployed, who have to have a laptop in order to follow a course to get work, but cannot afford a laptop at this moment. There's also a foundation in the Netherlands to do that. And they also buy laptops from us, and we give out laptops for free. We also did that in 2022. We did that for Ukraine. So we gave away, eventually we gave away 1,100 laptops. Literally gave them away to Ukrainian refugees, because that's what we do. We didn't have any knowledge or... Thank you. For us that was... we saw a lot of other museums giving money, you know, everybody coming in, and all the payments done that day will be given to Ukrainian refugees. But we can't do that. We are not subsidized at all. We need every money. So we used our knowledge, which was these old laptops. So yeah, that's what we did. That's what we simply used what we can do for helping refugees. So that's one of the things. The last thing on the commercial part, we do a lot of things more, but I still have... I'm already a little bit late. Last thing is what we do in the Home Computer Museum is we call it digital heritage. We are currently the only place in the Netherlands, actually in Europe, that can read nearly all storage media. And it doesn't matter if it's a tape or an 8-inch disc or a 5¼ inch, 3.5, SideQuests, zip disks, jazz disks, we can read it. But what makes us unique is not the fact that we can read it, because that you only need a reader for that, that's easy. But we have all these computers working. So we can actually read the data using the original computer with the original software. So we can actually read the data without data loss. And that's something that makes us unique in Europe. And that's also the reason why we collaborate with the Dutch government. And actually we are now at a stage that we cannot go bankrupt anymore. Even if we are going close to a state of bankruptcy, the Dutch government will take us over. They will also fire me, so we're not doing that, but because something happened, and you know. But we are so important for the Dutch Ministry of Culture. We are so important to. We are so important that we can. The only one that can keep the history of the Netherlands, because nobody knows what kind of data is stored on what kind of media, and we are the only one that can actually read it. And that's why we are collaborating with the National Library, the National Archive, the National Institute of Sound and Vision. They are collaboration partners of us. We are not their customer and they are not our customer, but we are collaboration partners. We are equal to them. In short, we are one of the biggest museums in the Netherlands that nobody knows. So, yeah, I don't know how many people already seen the museum. A few. All right, let's do some photos then. So, yeah, this is the HomeComputerMuseum, it's the entrance. Actually, can I do this probably? Yeah, there. That's the entrance over there. We are now talking to the city. The city is willing to subsidize us, hopefully this year already. And I'm trying to get the building next door as well, which is one of the things I'm trying now for them, because oddly enough, we are out of space. So this is outside. Yeah, this is the story I asked around on Facebook for you guys. Do you want a story about this? You said no, so we're not doing that. But this is a design computer called the Aesthetis, Aesthetic Design. It's a design computer that was made in 1985. This version is Aesthetis 2. The original Aesthetis is from 1982. And these were made for creating the Heineken logo, the Amstel logo, but also Volvo had one, Mercedes had one, Volkswagen, Ford, even Remia from the fries, from the sauces, Marlboro. It's been used a lot. And it's really the very first commercial, viable design computer. This was the one that came before Photoshop. Actually, Photoshop, the guys from Adobe looked at this keyboard, the entire keyboard, and made their menu in Photoshop and in Illustrator based on this keyboard. This is the first one using layers. This is a really important computer, and we had it since 2018. And in 2020, we started to fix this one. And there's a whole story around that, but yeah. We started to fix it, and we're currently there are 7 computers known to exist of these. And the HomeComputerMuseum is the only place in the entire world that has a working one, because we revived it in 2020, starting in 2020, because for some reason we had some time left. So, one of the things, and now I'm going to challenge you guys. This is a computer nobody knows about. We are now, we managed to recover the data, we managed to get the operating system up and running. We are now looking into the technical specifications. It has 3 video cards inside. It uses vectors, it has a very powerful, it has 68020s inside. But I wonder, can we make a demo for this one? We're going to make an emulator together. At least we are building an emulator now for this one, somehow. So hopefully we can actually have an emulator at some point. And if we do, we are going to open source release it. And hopefully in a few years, somebody will create a demo on this, because I would be very surprised to do. So that's the Aesthetis. So more pictures, because I'm already getting out of time. So this is the repair department, except the one the one here. That's the storage area. But as you can see, we do all our repairs ourselves. We have a very capable volunteer team that do repairs. People that know everything about power supplies, know everything about CRT, know everything about reading chips, and actually going as far as deep as possible into its chip. We are doing every repair we can do, and we are able to repair literally everything. We're currently talking with the Heinz Nixdorf Museum Forum to get a Xerox Alto over, because they have a Xerox Alto, the very first computer with a graphical user interface, and we are going to repair it for them. So that's one of the things we do. So again, this photo, this is the 1980s area. As you can see, the many computers are already on. Oh, that's not. Right. Okay. Yeah, 1980s. It's cool. So this is all Z80 machines, which you can see here, except for those. Yes, that's not Z80. But for those who want to come, on June 8th this year, we have Mr. Federico Fagin coming over to the HomeComputerMuseum for 1.5 hours. And for those who don't know Federico Fagin, he's the inventor of the microprocessor. He made the Intel 4004, the Intel 8008, the Intel 8080, and he founded a new company called Zilog. The Z80 is his CPU. And he also founded Synaptic later. And he will be in the HomeComputerMuseum for a meet and greet and a question. You can actually meet him and talk with him. So for those who want to know, the tickets are on sale right now. 8th of June, you can actually go to the HomeComputerMuseum. But yeah, we already did this for him. So when he comes into the HomeComputerMuseum, he will see only Z80 machines over here. That's the reason why we did. So this is the 70s area. We have a few computers that are 1970s. Just this is how we set it up. These computers are not on all the time. Actually, they're not. Most of them are not working yet. This one you can actually turn on. If you visit the museum, tomorrow we are open. We have a discount for everybody who attended X. So feel free to come over. If you talk to me, you probably get a free coffee as well. And if you ask for that one, we will turn it on, and you can actually see that one. So this is the Altair and some more old computers we have from the 70s. Funny enough, this is the only place where you can find replicas. We have 3 replicas of the 2,000 computers in the entire system. There are 3 replica, which is the Altair, the Kenbach over there, and the Apple I over there. Those are replicas. However, with probably this month, maybe next month, we'll get a real Altair 8800, but we're also getting a real IMSI 8080. And yes, we are going to recreate the Wargames bedroom. We are going to fully recreate the Wargames bedroom. So you can actually sit there, and we will even go as far as when you sit there, you will get on the screen, hello, Dr. Falcon, want to play a game. So we are going to make that. So this is yeah, some other old computer you've probably never seen. So this is the 90s area. We have the largest collection of CDI over there. All the CDI discs you see over there are archived and freely downloadable at this moment. We actually have registered and archived every single one of them. Even the prototype versions we have of Mario games that were never released. So we share everything we have. It's just my works. Thank you, but it's my work. So here we have the boring stuff, like the Windows machines, IBM PCs. This is part of the late 80s area. Yeah, we have this big collection of illegal software and illegal movies and illegal movies and audio. So we have that collection, which is Elger. He's around here somewhere. Don't see him now. Well, it's there. The Twilight collection, Crazy Bytes. It's one of the bigger collections we have, and it's on display. You can actually see it. This is called our space bar. We don't sell anything with cake related, so don't go for that. But yeah, we need to find a nice name for our bar. And all those discs, by the way, are unreadable. So don't think we actually put all those discs there for useless. They are unreadable discs. So yeah, that's. So these are the Holborn computers over here, the weird-looking ones. We have 5 of them, 5 Holborn computers, which is a Dutch computer born in Holland. That's Holborn, the name. Which is the largest computer collection in the world. Nowhere else in the world there are 5 Holborns on one location. So that's also kind of nice to have. MSX, maybe you have heard of it. That's, yeah, this is a presentation I did in the US, so that's why I did MSX. They don't know MSX. More MSX and stuff. These are real pictures from the museum. So this is, if you come over tomorrow, you can actually see this and play with the computers that are actually working. You can sit behind them, and we are okay with that. One of the things we always say when you enter the museum, we will say, welcome to the museum, we'll do a small, you can touch everything except for the personnel. That's the joke we always make. You can touch everything except for the personnel. And if somebody says "ah" to us, then we say we have to pay extra for that. So yeah, these are the setups we have, like the desk, the chair, the wallpaper, and everything around it is 1985. We actually do a lot of research how the bedroom looked like that, or was possible to look like. And that's what we recreate. Because now if somebody who actually had an Amiga 1000 back in the day and bought it new and sit behind this is more likely to give him these stories, these memories. And hopefully he will share the stories. Marvin is already yawning, so it's probably getting boring. We're almost done, I think. Yeah. So more computers from the early 80s. That's Apple II. You see the setup as well. This is 1979. The chair, everything else is 1979. One of the things we are working right now is to connect all phones. So hopefully soon you'll be able to dial inside the Home Computer Museum with all these old phones, because we can, that's the whole reason. So the XD Sorcerer is also one of the setups we have. Yeah, you ever heard of this computer brand? Nobody, no. So we have, it's not that big, right? And like Marvin over there, he really helps us with fun stuff, like the Commodore Max over here and the VIC 1001. We were looking for it, and thanks to Marvin, we were able to get it. So thank you again, man. So that's the Home Computer Museum in short. I can tell way more than that, but yeah, I only have 45 minutes today. So yeah, that's it. I don't have the question thing. So if you have any questions, you know, raise your hand, and I'm more than happy to answer it. That's it. Thank you.
Let's hear it for Bart, Home Computer Museum. And in a few minutes, Bart?
Yeah, there were some questions, so I'll go. I'm a normal guy. I'll just come to you. What's the question?
Where is the museum?
Where is the museum? It's a 20-minute drive from here, in the city of Helmond. Helmond is centrally, right in the middle of the Benelux area. And we have 4 train stations, so that's also nice. More questions? No, I'm working. You can also ask me, so that's fine. Thank you again for your attention, for those who listened.
Home Computer Museum in Helmond. This was Bart. Thank you.